The Taoists on Mount Wudang were cleaning their temples. Emperor Yongle had dispatched a senior Taoist to the mountain, and he would be arriving very soon. The name of the Taoist was Sun Bi Yuan, and he'd been given a secret task to accomplish. The idea behind the task was derived from a concept found in the Taoist classic Tao Te Ching. The earth models itself after heaven, the heaven models itself after the Tao, and the Tao models itself after nature. In early spring, the living things on Mount Wudang reawaken. Martial arts practitioners hold that at this time of the year, the yang qi, or positive elements of the universe, are at their strongest, and this makes early spring the best time to get rid of the stale and to take in the fresh. Zhuangzi once said, "The only way to cultivate oneself and lengthen one's life is to get rid of the stale and take in the fresh." At Crown Prince Slope, Taoists are beginning their morning exercise in the gentle sunshine. Only in a natural environment filled with vitality can Taoists cultivate their inner energy. "600 years ago, a Taoist stood in this very spot. But while the scenery of spring was delightful at the time, he had feelings of anxiety. When Sun Bi Yuan received the imperial decree, he was already 67 years old. Emperor Yongle had sent him to Mount Wudang on a secret mission, and at the same time, it was to promote Taoist doctrines. The emperor had given him a special permit many Taoists craved. He could travel to all the Taoist sanctuaries in China. Many people would have seen the imperial permit issued to Sun Bi Yuan as a kind of reward for his hard work over the years, but he knew very well that fulfilling his mission to Mount Wudang would not be easy. The emperor wanted to turn the mountain into an exclusive venue for Taoist services for the royal family. Sun Bi Yuan pondered how he should best carry out the emperor's plan. He remembered that not long before, Emperor Yongle had summoned Wudang Taoist Jian Zhongyang to the imperial palace. The emperor had heard a story described in the Taoist classic Tao Te Ching that had started to circulate in the previous Song dynasty.
Sun Bi Yuan deliberated for a long time over how he should best carry out the emperor's plan. Well, he remembered that not long before, Emperor Yongle had summoned the Wudang Taoist Jian Zhongyang to the imperial palace.
The story explains that Xuanwu the Great is the chief god of Mount Wudang. Xuanwu was originally the crown prince of the kingdom of Jingle. He was extraordinarily intelligent, but he did not want to inherit the throne. So when he was 15 years old, he bade farewell to his parents and went to practice Taoism on the mountain. Guided by the God of Crows, the crown prince studied Taoism on Mount Wudang for 42 years before he became an immortal. He then gained the title Xuanwu the Great.
简仲阳告诉允乐皇帝，这个真武是什么样的一个神仙？他是北方的一个神灵，怎么样历尽千辛万苦到南方来修炼，最后修成了正果，情为请自于天地的雅地。而且，每当人间发生动乱的时候，真武神是在变化下界，拯救黎民百姓于水火之中。
Emperor Yongle may well have been inspired by this Taoist story. The emperor had used violence to snatch the throne from his nephew, and he was often wakened in the night by nightmares. He hoped that the god Xuanwu the Great could soothe his troubled mind.
就是这个神仙是从北方打到南方的，在南方修仙，坐镇天下。这跟他的经历非常的相似，是吧？ 而且也是由太子由一般的王子最后当了皇帝，所以他觉得他应该鼓吹真武来自创皇传神授。
History books record that shortly after Taoist Jian Zhongyang arrived at the imperial palace, Emperor Yongle sent Sun Biyun to survey Mount Wudang and come up with plans for an imperial temple. The emperor would choose an auspicious day to launch the construction of the temple on the mountain. Many Taoists had lived on Mount Wudang, but Sun Biyun received the largest number of imperial decrees. He had, in fact, been summoned by the founding emperor of the Ming Dynasty, Zhu Yuanzhang, to discuss Taoist theories. As the finest disciple of Zhang Sanfeng, Sun Biyun had won the favor of the emperor, and his son Emperor Yongle now wanted very much to become an immortal. When Emperor Yongle decided to build an imperial Taoist temple, he had chosen Sun Biyun to take charge of the project because this elder Taoist was highly versed in Taoism and had been at the imperial palace for a long time. By the time Sun Biyun arrived at Mount Wudang, he had a clear understanding of the emperor's real purpose. His Majesty wanted to turn the mountain into a place for the exclusive use of the royal family in order to further demonstrate that his power was bestowed upon him by heaven. Sun Biyun moved around on the mountain from place to place, turning a rather intangible plan to something more concrete. He stood on the top of the mountain and decided to build a Taoist temple based on the story of how Xuanwu the Great cultivated himself to the point where he turned into a supernatural being. According to one account, at the age of 15, the Crown Prince began his lonely period of self-cultivation on a crag shrouded in wisps of cloud. Sun Biyun spent a lot of time trying to locate the crag referred to in the story. Seen from the air, Jiaodu Gully below Crown Prince Slope is clearly too narrow for a traditional imperial Taoist temple. The buildings in such a temple should be arranged along a central axis, but this site did not lend itself well to this approach. How, then, was the temple to be designed and built? Sun Biyun thought about writings in the Taoist classic Tao Te Ching, which he had been studying for many years.
整个《道德经》贯穿的一个最重要的一个思想，道家的一个思想，道教的一个思想，就是道法自然的这样一个思想。所以《道德经》里边讲，道生一，一生二，二生三，三生我，然后又讲这个，人法地，地法天，天法道，道法自然。就是道的核心是什么？道的经呢，就是以自然为法则。
Sun Biyun was fully enlightened. He realized that he had to build the imperial Taoist temple in accordance with the objective laws of great nature. The temple would display a coordinated and harmonious relationship between heaven and man. It is because of this ingenious idea that today Mount Wudang attracts so many tourists. People come from all over China to embark on their own quest to seek the Tao. 5 years ago, Hu Jing had just graduated from university when she came to Mount Wudang. She found herself profoundly drawn to the mountain.
然后尤其在金堂，很多人都说，还有就是有客人问你们那个没？为什么那个白玉金宗白玉是？你怎么说的？
我每次说是因为那个白玉它可能和另一个方面，我讲两个方面。
Hu Jing is one of the best guides on Mount Wudang. In their spare time, Hu Jing and the other guides often talk about the secrets still hidden on the mountain.
喂，来了吗，客人？好的，好。开始通过检查口上车。
Wu Jing loves Mount Wudang, and she hopes that many more people will learn about it. She feels that every blade of grass and every tree on the mountain can tell a story.
There is an old Chinese saying that goes, people who come earlier plant the trees, and those who follow enjoy the shade. In a sense, this is true of the Wudang Mountains, and Sun Biyun's ingenious idea for promoting Taoism there. The evident harmony that exists between heaven and man not only imbues the Wudang Mountains with a powerful sense of the Taoist philosophy, it also makes the mountains a popular tourist attraction. Thank you for staying with us on today's New Frontiers. I'm Qi Xiaojun from CCTV International. Goodbye. Hello and welcome to New Frontiers on CCTV International. I'm Qi Xiaojun in Beijing. In today's program, we are continuing with our major series about the Wudang Mountains. In 1403, Zhu Di ascended the throne, becoming Emperor Yongle of the Ming Dynasty. 3 years later, he received an unusual kind of fruit as tribute from the Wudang Mountains. The emperor was so taken with the fruit that he lavished handsome rewards on the Wudang Mountains. Well, the fruit was the betel-plum, and Emperor Yongle's special fondness for it was associated with his guilty conscience.
In the year 1399, Zhu Di was 40 years old. Under pressure from his nephew Emperor Jianwen from all sides, he decided to raise an army and resist. It was a dramatic moment in Chinese history, and with it, Zhu Di took on the identity of God Xuanwu.
因为朱棣是一个打仗出身的一个将领，他手下的士兵，打仗的时候都要到真武庙，北京的赵应宫真武庙去拜真武神。现在他要起兵和南方的朝廷，交兵，从势力上来讲是敌众我寡，处于劣势。那么士兵们肯定感到胆怯。他在这样一个特殊场合下披头散发，做真武附体的样子，肯定就告诉士兵。 不光是我自己作战勇敢，而且神也保佑我们。这个北方之神这个战神保佑我们燕军一定会取得胜利。
After an exhausting campaign that lasted 3 years, on June the 16th, 1402, Zhu Di